So these days, it seems like Donald Trump's every public statement is an admission of wrongdoing. And I predict many of those statements will see the inside of a courtroom when Donald Trump is finally prosecuted for his crimes. I believe that day is coming. I believe justice is coming. And we all know that justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So as tired as we all are of hearing Donald Trump's voice, I actually hope he continues talking on Fox Entertainment and elsewhere, because his every statement is a little thing that I would call evidence, admissible evidence, evidence demonstrating Donald Trump's criminal liability. Let's start with the insurrection. This from CNN. Trump lies about Capitol riot by claiming his supporters were hugging and kissing cops. Apparently hugging and kissing some of them to death. Here's how that article reads in part. Donald Trump on Thursday attempted to whitewash the history of the January 6 Capitol riot by pushing the false suggestion that his supporters were hugging and kissing police officers and posed zero threat despite widespread violence, injuries to law enforcement officers, and 5 deaths. It's an outrageous attempt by Trump to rewrite the history of the insurrection, which he stoked by repeatedly and falsely claiming the 2020 election was stolen from him. Trump and many of his conservative allies in the media and on Capitol Hill have continued to push the big lie. Now, folks, we all know it's an obvious lie that he's telling. It's an inept attempt at a cover-up, but those lies are powerfully incriminating of Donald Trump. Let's move on to COVID. Here's the headline from Salon. Trump brags to Fox host that he did the opposite of what the top expert advised amid pandemic. Here's what Trump said. I didn't really listen to Dr. Fauci too much because I was doing the opposite of what he was saying. So Donald Trump admitted, confessed, that he was doing the opposite of what his own top infectious disease experts were saying should be done to protect the health of the American people, to save American lives. He didn't listen to Fauci because he decided to do the opposite. What were the consequences of Donald Trump doing the opposite of what the medical experts said should be done to protect American lives? This from Reuters. U.S. COVID response could have avoided hundreds of thousands of deaths. Here is some of the reporting. The United States squandered both money and lives in its response to the coronavirus pandemic, and it could have avoided nearly 400,000 deaths with a more effective health strategy and trimmed federal spending by hundreds of billions of dollars while still supporting those who needed it. That is the conclusion of a group of research papers released at a Brookings Institution conference this week. Okay, but maybe you don't want to take the Brookings Institute word for it. How about the preeminent British Medical Journal, the Lancet? This from Slate. Lancet study finds 40% of U.S. COVID-19 deaths could have been avoided. But maybe you don't want to take the Brookings Institute or the Lancet's word for how lives could have been saved if Donald Trump hadn't done the opposite of what the experts recommended. How about we take the word of 6 of the top medical experts in our nation, all of whom worked in the Trump administration? This headline from CNN: all 6 of those doctors are in agreement that the vast majority of deaths in the United States could have been avoided. Folks, it's time to hold Donald Trump accountable. It's time to charge him. It's time to prosecute him. It's time for justice. Justice for 500,000 dead Americans and their grieving family members. It's time for justice. And justice matters. And folks, if I could take just one more minute, we are trying to have an impact on holding Donald Trump and company accountable for the preventable COVID deaths in our country. We have authored a letter that is being mailed out in the coming days to all 50 state attorneys general and the Attorney General for the District of Columbia. It's going to be CC'd to all the governors, urging them to open investigations in their states into the avoidable coronavirus deaths for which Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, Mike Pence, and others bear criminal responsibility based on the evidence we know. If you go onto Twitter and look at my pinned tweet, the letter is there and there is a link. It's very easy to just click on the link. It will take you 30 seconds to add your signature to the letter that will be going out in the coming days to the attorneys general. We have signatories from all 50 states and the District of Columbia. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of signatories, but I believe there's strength in numbers. So if you would please go to my Twitter feed, my pinned tweet on Twitter, it's @GlennKirshner2. And if you read the letter and you're persuaded by it and you want to add your name, urging every state and the District of Columbia to initiate investigations into avoidable coronavirus deaths, then please join us. Sign the letter. It will be going out in the coming days. All of this is an effort to hold Trump and company accountable for their crimes and achieve justice for 500,000 dead Americans and their grieving family members and their suffering communities. Folks, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.